Hey everybody, what's going on? This is NGS and welcome back to another video. It's time for the second installment of my E3 2015 wrap-up extravaganza, where I go through each and every one of this year's press conferences, give you guys my thoughts, a couple of opinions thrown in, and a dash of ranting when called for. So yesterday we talked about Bethesda. Today Microsoft kicked it off with their press conference. So going into this, to be honest, I'm not really going to misconstrue things with this rant. I don't want you guys to get the wrong opinion, but I really had no expectations going into it. I'm just gonna get it out there because for the most part I really haven't had high expectations from Microsoft. Ever since the introduction of Kinect, I really haven't seen much to get excited about being an Xbox gamer. I just really haven't. And with the debacle that was the Xbox One unveiling, it just really didn't do much to win me back as a consumer. But let's hope that this conference has kind of changed my opinion and will sway the way my wallet goes this holiday season. Lol. So starting off the event, we have what everybody saw coming, Halo 5 Guardians. We got our first look at some campaign footage and, well, Halo is Halo. At this point, after 38 fucking games, you either like Halo or you don't like Halo. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. Where do I stand? I think it looks great. I think that every Halo game looks really good, and they play really good. Halo's a high-quality franchise. Now, when you're talking to the Halo fans, it's probably going to be a different story because there are a lot of different factions. There's the factions who like the Bungie games before Halo Reach. There's the factions that only like the 343 games and don't like the Bungie games. Then there's the weird faction in between who likes Halo Reach. And that'd kind of be me. I like Halo Reach a lot. I'm just saying. But we did see a new game mode called Warzone, which basically looks like Halo on crack plus steroids with bacon added to it. So yeah, Halo 5 Guardians launches this October for Xbox One, and in my honest opinion, this is their first major exclusive. I mean, you have stuff like Forza, Dead Rising, Rise, and Sunset Overdrive, and while all those games are great when half of them aren't getting ported to PC, there really hasn't been the wow factor for Xbox, like, you need an Xbox One to play these games. There really hasn't. I mean, Forza is a pretty big franchise for them, but stop the lies. No one is going out there and buying an Xbox for a racing simulator. Stop the lies. Just stop it. Stop it. Moving on to new IP, Recore. This is an exclusive first-party game coming from the legendary Keiji Inafune and his new team over at Comcap. And, well, that's it. That's all we know. I mean, I guess they showed a trailer. I guess they did. But to be honest, you guys know my stances on these sort of trailers. I don't really see what's the point in getting hyped for them when they're not really gameplay. I guess if it was like a pre-existing franchise and it was a sequel and it was something story related, I could see the way you would use a CGI trailer. Cool. But if it's a new IP, like, how am I getting hyped for a CGI trailer? Like, come on now, it's not telling me anything. Come on now. But what they did tell us, it's coming out spring 2016, so yay! Exclusive new IP. Now we move on to what people consider the first major bombshell of the show. Backwards compatibility is confirmed for Xbox One. So starting this fall, you're going to be able to play all of your favorite Xbox 360 games on Xbox One. Now this is really, really big. Especially big when you're talking about the current gen systems, specifically PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Both of those systems from the get-go were not backwards compatible. And considering that the 7th generation was probably one of the biggest generations in a very long time, they were the longest to say the least, a lot of people got attached to their systems. So when they heard that they can't play the new ones can't play their old games, it kind of left people at a crossroads. Like, I want to play my old games, but I don't want to sell my system for this new one, which I don't think people should be doing when upgrading. They shouldn't just automatically sell their old hardware just to get the new one, because you never know what'll happen, especially in the realm of console gaming. But by announcing this, Microsoft definitely alleviated a lot of those concerns. So a couple of additions to this. First and foremost, it has native support. It works with both digital and retail games. So basically what you're going to be able to do is, if you have the game downloaded on Xbox Live, you can play it on the Xbox One once the game is certified. Certification is something that's going to take a while for a lot of the Xbox 360 games, so it's not like you can just pop in any 360 game under the sun and have it work on your Xbox One. You definitely have to wait for the updates to roll out. You have to wait for the developers to certify them, but apparently hundreds and hundreds of games are going to be certified over the course of the next year, so that is definitely cool. And it also comes with native Xbox One features, so you can do some screenshotting, streaming most likely, and cross multiplayer is included as well. So this is really big. If you're still one of those people who play Xbox 360 games online, if you own an Xbox 360 game that still works online and you're playing on Xbox One, you can play it with your Xbox 360 friends. So that is really awesome. Overall, as a whole, I think backwards compatibility was definitely a nice added addition, but it's not really a major deal like people are making out to seem. Granted, it is nice that I can get rid of my 360 and still be able to play my Tales of Vesperia, because let's be honest, what are the odds another Tales game is coming to an Xbox platform? Still kind of weird that we got a Tales game on an Xbox platform. Early last generation was really weird for JRPGs, to say the least. Moving right along, we have a brand new Xbox One controller. This is the Elite controller. I definitely think this is in response to the lukewarm reception that the original controller got. So they definitely improved on a lot of things. They made it more comfy for the gamers. Button remapping, which is a thing. You can remap your entire control scheme. Swappable components, so if you don't like certain things or if it gets worn out, you don't need to replace the entire controller or have to tinker with it and break it apart and all that stuff. So yeah, that's definitely cool. You know, more power to comfier controllers. Sweet. So, moving on to third-party support, Fallout 4 was included onto this press conference. Showed us a little bit more of gameplay, and they confirmed that Fallout 3, the backwards compatible Xbox 360 version, is going to be included with the purchase of Fallout 4 on Xbox One. But that's not the big part of the show. The biggest part, and what I definitely think is a bombshell, especially for consoles, because they've been talking about this for a while, but they've never done it. There are going to be mods for Fallout 4. On Xbox One, you're going to be able to play something that the PC community has been doing for, well, decades now. The ability to mod your game, user-generated content, has always been a thing that I think people on consoles can benefit from. Not really too many games have been taking advantage of the whole UGC approach. I mean, Little Big Planet, some other stuff on Sony like Mod Nation Racers, they've done modding in the past. But full-on mods, you know, just breaking the game down from the very get-go and just doing whatever the heck you want, as something that existed on PC but not really much on consoles. I get it, it's a different demographic of gamers and what they want to do. But the ability to have the option to use mods on Xbox One is definitely a plus. And they're going to be free, so there's not going to be another Bethesda controversy. I think they've definitely learned from what they tried to do on PC, because mistakes were definitely made. Definitely made. And shit comes on stage with EA. They brought EA Access. You guys know that service where you pay like $5 a month and you get like 20 cents off an EA game or something like that. But one of the major things about EA Access was that you're going to be able to play Titanfall starting today. Now what EA Access Digital Vault is essentially a lot of EA games get added to it and you can play them so long as you subscribe to the subscription service. So think of it like PlayStation Now or Xbox Live Games with Gold, but the EA version of that. And they included Titanfall and Dragon Age Inquisition as the next two big heavy hitters, which is pretty cool because those games are still recent. They came out last year. So, good on EA for that. They also got on stage and confirmed Plants vs. Zombies 2. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, I should say. Definitely a surprise. I loved playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare when they released it on PlayStation 4. They gave it out for free during the PS Experience event last December. And it was definitely a surprising hit. I did not expect it to be that much fun. So I'm definitely anticipating the sequel and some of the new crazy quirks and zaniness that they include. Woohoo! Okay, and then they move on to, I can't believe we're already at this number, Forza 6. God damn, dude. We're already at the 6th game in Forza, and it's not counting the spin-off titles. Wow. And then they brought the car and they lowered it like Jesus. They've been doing this every year when it comes to Forza, just bringing out the cars. And, you know, Forza is Forza. At this point, you either like it or you don't like it. Forza's a good franchise, I'll just say that. I just think there are too many of them. Like, wow. And then they confirmed something that we knew a couple days back, Dark Souls 3. Kind of interesting to see it on the Microsoft stage, considering, well, what Xbox gamer really plays a From Software game? I'm just being honest here. Either way, it's being developed by the guy who did Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne. So, yeah, I expect it to be better than Dark Souls 2. Alrighty, moving right along to The Division, a game that I feel like they announced this game 10 years ago. I'm just being completely 100% with y'all. Like, what is it with them announcing games literally when they're like 2 months in development? Shit like that is what I don't like, man. I mean, they announced this back in E3 2013. This game's not coming out till 2016. Bro, why are we getting game announcements for games that aren't coming out within the next year? Like, that makes no sense. And granted, I did love seeing Kingdom Hearts 3 at E3 2013, but at the same time, we're not getting that till 2017, most likely. Shit, it was still a hype E3. I'm just saying. But it also has an exclusive beta on Xbox One this December at The Division. Alrighty, moving straight into another Ubisoft game, Rainbow Six Siege. Again, a game we already knew about. If you purchase it on Xbox One, you get Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, the backwards compatible versions. So yeah, Rainbow Six Siege, multiplayer, cool. Then Microsoft moves on and announces Gigantic, which is Xbox One Windows 10 title. It's a free-to-play, multiplayer-focused game. Looks kind of cool. Then we go into an indie game montage where they feature all of the brand new indie support that they have on the Xbox platform. They highlighted some like Ashen, Tacoma, Beyond Eyes, and Cuphead. I'm not really going to spend too much time talking about each individual indie game because I'm just going to pull a Microsoft and do it in a montage. But I want to talk to you guys about that Cuphead though. That game, Cuphead, keep it on your radar. Look at the art style for that game and tell me they didn't nail it. Tell me they didn't nail it. If you say they didn't nail it, don't you diss my Cuphead. Then we move on to what is Xbox's equivalent to Steam Early Access with Xbox Game Preview. So what the entire idea around Early Access is that for a lot of these indie games, you're going to be able to get the chance to experience them before you actually purchase them. So think of it like you playing the game when it's in its beta form, to say the least. And you actually get to see the developmental update and the progress from the devs. So that is pretty cool. And what I like about this, and I don't know if Steam Early Access does this, I probably have never really delve too much into it, so someone correct me if I'm wrong. You can actually, on the Xbox equivalent, which is Xbox Game Preview, you can see and play a portion of the game before you decide to opt into the early access. So it's not just watching a gameplay video of it, you can actually play it to see if you're going to like it, and you can make an educated decision on whether or not you want to support this game from the very beginning and see what the final product ends up like. So I think that's very cool. Alrighty. Moving along to more of their bigger announced titles, Rise of the Tomb Raider, world premiere gameplay. Again, it's the Tomb Raider reboot gameplay, so it's going to look fantastic and stunning, and I'm excited for it. If I end up owning an Xbox One at the end of the year, I'm definitely going to check it out. But more often than not, I am going to wait for this game, considering the fact that it's only exclusive for the holiday season, and that was something I think was definitely in the contract between Microsoft and Crystal Dynamics. If you kept looking at the footage of it, it said Holiday 2015, Holiday 2015. Even the announcer said exclusive Holiday 2015. Like, there was definitely something about that that just screamed, okay, we're not gonna have the rights to this game for a very long time, but dang it, we're gonna let people know they can play this Christmas, yo. And it actually launches on the same day as Fallout 4, so one of those games is probably going to get pushed back, and I don't think it's the game where you can build a doghouse, so I'm just saying, Laura. Love you, babe. Alrighty. Rare comes on stage, and they're celebrating their 30th anniversary. For 3 decades, they've created some of the most prolific and zany franchises in all of gaming. Granted, they haven't done anything for the latter of those 3 decades, but they announced the Rare Collection, which comes with 30 games for $30 and 10,000 gamer score. So stuff like Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark, you're going to play them on Xbox One August 4th for $30, which is insanely cool. If you're a Rare fan, you get all the classic Rare games in one. And they also announced a new IP called Sea of Thieves. We saw some gameplay for it, but honestly we can't really tell what this game is going to be about, because all we know is the art style, and the art style looks like a Rare game. So I can't sit here and say that Rare is back in full force. I can't, because I don't know much about the game. But that Rare collection does look very enticing. They talked a lot about the HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens, and Xbox One games will be playable on Oculus Rift via streaming and stuff. And the HoloLens looks pretty cool, but again, like PlayStation Move, like the Wiimote and all this stuff, these peripherals are going to end up collecting dust after a while because people are going to stop supporting it because it's going to seem cool at first and really awesome, but like Kinect, it's just going to be there. It's not going to matter, but hey, that's just me being a cynical twat. And they ended off the show with the big Gears announcement. Gears of War Remastered Edition, Ultimate Edition, and the world debut for Gears 4. It's no longer Gears of War 4, it's just Gears 4. So it was really weird seeing that. Regardless, Gears, like Halo, is Gears. It looks very, very good. From what I've seen in Gears 4, it just looks like classic Gears. So, you know, you're gonna like it or you're gonna hate it. We're gonna have to wait to see how they're going to innovate the franchise, if you will, with more gameplay and multiplayer trailers. But it's confirmed for holiday 2016, so we got a little bit of a while to wait. On the other hand, Gears of War Definitive Edition, Ultimate Edition, whatever, they've got so many different names for these games now. It's just a remaster, man. They're trying to avoid calling it a remaster, but they still have to slap an edition on it. That is going to be playable at the end of the summer in August, but you're going to be able to check out the beta right now on Xbox One. So overall, as a whole, I mean, this is what we got out of the event. We got our exclusives. We got our Halos. We got our Tomb Raiders. We got our Gears of Wars. We got the games that we knew were coming. And at the same time, we did get some new IPs. We got Recore, and we got a couple of timed exclusive indie stuff. You know, we got some good things on that front as well. So to recap, what did we get out of the Xbox E3 conference? Well, first and foremost, we got our exclusive games. We got our Halo, we got our Gears of War, we got our Forza. We got our timed exclusive stuff with Rise of the Tomb Raider. We got our indie support with, you know, things like Tacoma, Cuphead, Beyond Eyes. We got a lot of the things that we were expecting, and we did get a lot of surprises. Surprises, I use that term very loosely, like backward compatibility being a thing, in addition to a brand new Xbox 360 controller. But overall, as a whole, well, I think this was Microsoft's most solid conference to date because they literally did nothing wrong. They didn't talk about TV. They didn't talk about sports partnerships. They didn't talk about Kinect. They didn't talk about the useless shit that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of gaming. I still think that there isn't really much to get excited for about the Xbox One. Is it definitely more appealing? Oh, heck yeah. Is it more enticing? Sure. Do I want to pick up an Xbox One? Yes, I do, because now I can get rid of my Xbox 360 and just use that as my primary Xbox platform. But at the same time, they really just haven't shown much for me to get the system going into the end of the year. I mean, I like Gears of War, but I'm not going to buy the system just for a remaster. Halo's a great thing, but it's only one major game. Like, what other games do they have coming out this fall? A lot of their stuff has gotten delayed to next year. Quantum Break's delayed to spring. Scalebound, we didn't even see anything about it here, in addition to Crackdown. Like, where are those games? I know they're probably saving them for another event later in the year, but really, what did they get people excited for Xbox One this fall? Just multiplats? Is that it? And it's not even like the Xbox One is going to have exclusive partnerships with said multiplats. It's not like the days of Xbox 360 where they had mass content acquisition out the wazoo. So really, all they've done is just make the Xbox One more appealing for the people who own Xbox One, which is a great thing in its own right. But for the people who have never owned an Xbox One, who own a PS4, what really is the incentive to purchase it in the coming months? Next year, sure, it definitely looks really good because we have confirmed games for spring. At the same time though, like, we gotta stop this pushback. We gotta legit have things to tide us over for the next couple months. Because when you look at it, Xbox One really doesn't have much to play exclusively, and it really hasn't since Sunset Overdrive last year. I mean, the first big major exclusive that you're going to be able to play is a remaster in August with Gears of War. I mean, all the stuff that they've had before, just wow, man. But anyway, you guys, that was my recap, summary, wrap-up of the Xbox press briefer. Like I said, it's a solid show. Don't get me wrong, Microsoft definitely improved a lot. At the same time, though, I don't think we should be calling this stuff dropping the mic. At the same time, though, I don't think we should be labeling this conference as Microsoft dropping the mic, Microsoft going ham, Microsoft straight killing it with backwards compatibility. that's not something that is really going to be a game changer in the grand scheme of things. It's cool, it's beneficial, it's useful, but to say it wins a showcase? Come on, y'all, come on. Anyway, I'm looking forward to what the other conferences and developers and publishers have to bring. I'm GS signing out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.